Well, hello, beautiful souls. Thank you for watching. And if you are new to my channel, then welcome. And please remember to subscribe, like, comment, and share this message for all those you think that might benefit. So, you might think, for those of you who have followed me regularly, that I am a little late at putting this up. But one of the things that I'm always sharing with you is that we need to take care of self first. And I had a fairly intense week where my physical body said rest. And so I needed to listen to that, and I ran out of time. And so yesterday, at the end of the day, I thought, no, I'm not really fully here to allow the message to come through, so I'm going to have a good night's sleep and be here for you fresh and early. So it is Saturday morning here in Melbourne, and I am here with you, fully aware, fully awake, and ready to bring this message through. So, for those of you who do not know who I am or what I am, and you just fell upon this channel, my name is Vontia Bors, and I have been a conscious channel for the Council of 12, which is an Arcturian collective of beings that have been assisting and supporting ascension of many planets and constellations throughout the cosmos for eons. And for some reason, they found me some 40 years ago, and our frequencies connected. I obviously had a contract with them, although they tell me I am one of them, and you know, as a Von being, do I know that? Well, I'm supposed to know that, and I accept that because over the years, my relationship with this consciousness that keeps flooding through me all the time has become so symbiotic with who I am that sometimes I find it difficult to know the difference between me and all that is coming through me with this constant telepathic dialogue. So it's living two beings at the same time very often. Anyway, that's an explanation of how all this wisdom is coming through and how that works. So I don't have to go into a trance. I don't have to do anything other than put myself aside and just allow the message to come through. And mostly it's telepathic. Uh, in my Ascension Wisdom classes, I do now verbally channel because they actually like to have the interaction with the people. And but most of the time it is telepathic, and there is very little difference between me and it, except that the agendas of Von the human is not involved. I just step aside. Anyhow, when I sat down and said, okay, are we ready to do another video, there's only one phrase that came forward, and it was a phrase that I actually heard when I was listening to Sashastone a couple of days ago, and he said it, and as soon as he said it, it was like all these lights went on for me. And the phrase was, "And the meek shall inherit the earth." Well, I don't know about you, but I've heard that phrase many times. Thought, well, what does that mean? And is that really good? Because of the connotation or the meaning of meek that I understood, and as a foreigner having to learn this language, I always thought of it as meant timid and compliant. And so I actually decided to look it up and say, well, is it really what it means? Because the meek. So several things came through all at once, and one of the things was that, well, who are the meek? And the answer was, the meek is you. So the meek are us, the people, what we call the average people on the street, right? And when we find our own power, then we don't need to be ruled over. We don't need someone to tell us or give us permission. So when the meek stand up, and that is what ascension is all about. So, um, you know, when we really look at ourselves that way, then what came through was, and do you know what it says? The meek shall inherit the earth. So I started to write down, okay, well, to me, that's always been something of a promise. I don't know about you, but it's like something that's going to happen in the future. And we will, somebody else is going to fix it all, and then we'll inherit golden age. Yay, yes, no. And then as I was writing it, this information just landed. And I went, what? And this is what it said. It said, you are living your inheritance. Yes, it was a promise when you were created as a species on this planet. The meek shall inherit the earth. And it was meant to be so that you would remember your power. We are living our inheritance. Okay, and that's what came through. So rather than me trying to explain it to you, I went to council and they telepathically, well, through the pen, I write. As you might know, I write. Oh, and by the way, if you hear any funny noises coming through, I will just tell you now, I don't, what you see is what you get. I am really good with technology, but editing is just one too many things for me to do. So it's my granddaughter's 11th. Oh no, that's the other granddaughter. It's my youngest granddaughter's 7th birthday, and we have a family thread on WhatsApp, and I don't know how to turn that noise off. So if you hear a ping, that's just somebody wishing her a happy birthday, and that's perfectly all right. And look, if I was any good at editing, but I'm here because I signed up to work with the people, to empower the people to be authentically you. So this is authentically me with all the beeps and the punch and if I have an itchy nose and all of that, that's all inclusive because this is how I come up. This is how you get me. I'm too old, too wise to be concerned about, all that. So I said to council, okay, give me the message. So this is what council brought forward through my pen. Okay. Whew, here we go. Thank you for allowing me to bring you this direct message that may not be comfortable for all to hear. Yeah, one of the things that I've known for the last 40 years, council is not one of those namby-pamby things where they are, oh, beloved ones, we love you, we do this. No, they are very direct. This is the message. This is where you're at. This is what you need to know. This is what you need to implement. It's very straight. And maybe that's why they picked me to do that through because, yeah, I'm not good with small talk and I'm not good with fancy stuff. I love all the time. I am love incarnate. My mother gave me that, and I'm forever grateful to her for that. But I don't have to, be namby-pamby about that. It's in everything I do. So counsel sometimes is very direct, and not everybody can handle that, and they often think of it as a judgment, but it isn't. Never, ever, ever. Counsel has no idea how to judge. It just says it as it is, and it speaks from only frequency. And that's something that we've all got to learn, how to be energetic beings rather than these ego personas. Okay, so where was I? And it says it may not be comfortable for all to hear, but must be shared for you to know within your own heart and soul is true and vital at this time of ascension to a higher state of consciousness into what you are calling the new earth or golden age. For us, it just is a moving into a state of consciousness of self-knowing, self-empowerment, and freedom of creative self-expression. So they, we call it the ascension or whatever it is into the golden. We have all this terminology. They just see everything from a frequency, okay? And so they talk about we need to move consciousness, and consciousness is the fabric of our reality. So if we have, let's say, if we have cheap fabric, we're going to have a garment that doesn't last long. I like this, they're giving me that analogy. But if we buy expensive fabric and we make garments, they last a long time. So the better the fabric, the better the experience of the garment. One of my, that's Von's life experiences was as a knitwear designer, and I was working in the wool industry, and oh my lord, I get so frustrated, I guess, with the quality of the materials that they offer when I know that it could be so much better. So I get that. So the garments that I made 40 years ago when I was in that industry, I can still wear, and they are strong and beautiful, and they have no pilling, if you know what that means. So it's not all this bubbles. And today, you almost find anything like that anymore. It's so much cheaper and it doesn't last. So you get the message, okay? So the better the fabric, the better the experience. Yes? So when you think about consciousness as the fabric of your reality, so the more that we live, and that consciousness is pure frequency. So the higher quality frequency that you have, the higher quality of life experience that you can have. Does that make sense? I hope it does, because that's coming from council wanting to explain to you as simply as possible what consciousness is and how that works, because they're talking about it here. So they see it. For us, it is just a moving into a state of consciousness of self-knowing, self-empowerment, and freedom of creative self-expression. Because within each one of us is an encoding. There's a blueprint. There is your DNA is configured for a creativity. We are creation in motion. That is what we are. And that's what we've forgotten. So we're on this path where we are remembering that. Okay, so let us examine, this is counsel again, so let us examine this much-maligned phrase of the meek shall inherit the earth. And the meek shall inherit the earth by looking at the true meaning of the word meek. You have believed in the negative side of this, and because you have believed it, you have lived it. I'm going to say that again, because that is just such an important phrase to get. Because you have believed it, you have lived it. Okay? You have believed in the negative side of this, and because you have believed it, you have lived it. Meek, timid, submissive, compliant. Yes. Feels familiar? Giving one's power to another. But there is a much more relevant meaning to this word, one you are now invited to embody. The true meaning of meek is not submissive or weakness, but the quiet strength of humility, patience, and self-mastery. The ability to stand firmly in your own power without needing to dominate, retaliate, or impose that power upon another. Those who have learned to govern themselves without needing to control others are ready to become conscious stewards of the new earth. Think about that. And that's what the whole ascension process is about, is to come home to self and to accept why we incarnated at this time, to take accountability for that, and to live the expression of that. Whatever is your current experience right here, right now, is your inheritance. Oh, yes. This comes back to understanding that we're actually living our inheritance. And now hold the phone, please, because I know it sounds a bit rough if you're not having a good time, doesn't it? Yes, but it gets better. Okay. So you are living your inheritance right now. Okay. Now that is not a reward system. I've got to get that. Or a judgment system, or punishment, or for doing it wrong. But it is a direct energetic reflection of the impact of the collective general state of consciousness you have had imprinted upon you by your culture, your society, your education, religion, governmental rules. Everything you have accepted as truth without being aware that it is not your truth, and indeed not anyone's truth, but those who are directing the narrative for the purpose of control and dominion through greed and power. Greed and power, we know that one, over the masses. So they have more by making you less. Do you know that feeling that, I've done this work for a long, long time, and I do still do private sessions, and if you're interested, please contact me. I'm doing some amazing work at the moment where the Ascension Wisdom classes are turning into workshops, and I am now offering those as a private session, um, including the deep meditations that go with it, and it is so powerful. So if you're interested, just contact me. All the information how to contact me are in the description box below, and I would love to work with you if that would be something your soul will call to. So here we go. Okay, so feeling small, and so all the people that I've worked with for all these years, the foundation of not ever living, your full potential, or feeling that you're on purpose, or feeling that you're worthy, that all that crap I call it, that has been instilled in us. The foundation is always I'm not good enough. Boy, that's an imprint, isn't it? Wow. So the ascension process you have all signed up to participate in voluntarily, we may suggest, is to lift the energetic frequency first within the self, and consequently, as the human collective genome, the full DNA capacity. I want to say this again because I'm really, it's so incredible. Let's go back to this. The ascension process you have all signed up to participate in voluntarily, we may suggest, and they started to laugh, is to lift the energetic frequency first within the self, and consequently, as the human collective genome, the full DNA capacity or full potential of the human blueprint. We are restoring that. The Meek being the extraordinary people who are seen and referred to as the public, the average man, woman in the street. All the diminishing descriptives used about the human collective has been intentionally reductive to keep the ones who have natural divine power small, so that those who need greed and control to feel powerful can have what they want. So we have this incredible divine innate power. And they don't want us to know that, because then we can't be controlled and they can't have what they want. Those days are coming to an end. Yay! And this is why you are going through this process of awakening to your true selves and the true power that has been lying dormant within. This is really what this is all about, isn't it? We are coming to this place where the where we can't do it anymore. You know, we're not believing everything that we're being fed anymore. Well, I'm certainly not. And I was always a rebel, you know. I was always a rebel. It just it just doesn't wear with me anymore. I don't know what you feel about it, but I certainly doesn't, you know, wear with me anymore. I just can't I can't do it. I really can't do it. I can't play the game anymore. I mean, I can't find anything that I want to participate in, anything that I want to comply to, anything that comes from any governmental rules, from any corporation. It just doesn't sit with me anymore. I really don't know if you feel that too, but I just want to know, you know, in the comments, are you finding it really difficult? Are you really finding it difficult to be able to, um, you know, to just say yes to everything they want you to do and everything that they want you to believe in? It just doesn't wash anymore, does it? Well, it certainly doesn't for me. And that's such a great sign, because it means that the divine within us is starting to knock, knock, knock and say, come on, come on, remember who you are, remember who you are. You know, all my work is about 4 statements: know thyself, love thyself, trust thyself, and then be thyself uncompromisingly. Right? Okay, there's a little bit more here from council, and then we're going into an activation and a dedication, so that we can imprint it and implement it, and so that when you finish with this video, you can actually become it. And that's what all my work is about. It's not waiting for someone else. It's embracing and it's experiencing it as a lived being right here, right now. Living an inheritance that makes you feel expansive, that is in alignment with your encoding. So this from the last bit from the council here before the activation. This channel, you know as Von, has been educating and inspiring people to this end for 40 years. And we are delighted to see the impact of her work and of all who came with this same intent. Now it is time for the masses to get on board and become the divine power of love, of peace, of kindness, and caring. All the inherent, innate codes. You know, it's when we talk about inherent, isn't that? It's what you have inherited. And it tells you that we are living when we are living our inheritance, it means we're living the encoding that we were, you know, imprinted with by the divine before we came down here and were bombarded with all the constriction. Yay. So, the innate codes instilled in your human genome. So that's all in our full DNA, our full blueprint potential. So it's not something we have to find, we have to restore and remember. The question all have to ask themselves at this time is what do I want my inheritance to be? And what is inherent in me that I now can be a lived expression of? We salute you for all you have achieved already, and we walk beside you to hold the frequency as steady as we can. Together we are ascending into a new earth of higher consciousness. And so it is. Wow. So that was the main message. And I just want to know, how does it land with you? Tell me, you know, where are you sitting with all of that information? Because it's not about telling you anything that you don't know inherently within you. That word inherent has suddenly taken completely new meaning for me, because it is related to the meek will inherit the earth. Yes, because the inherent kindness is the inheritance. Wow. That is something that actually, when I was writing all of this, and that even that had not quite landed within me, and now I'm bringing that into such a knowing. Obviously, yes, inherent. My inheritance is living within me. It's not something I have to earn. I have to wait for someone to give. I just have to remember to unlock it and be the living expression of it. Oh, I love that. I really do. I love that. It's been so amazing. So, are we ready for an activation to put all of this into a space within us where it really ignites the blueprint within us, and it really ignites the divine self so that we can step fully into it? Yes? Okay. So, thank you for spending this time with me and listening, and remember, please subscribe and like, comment, and share, because the more of us that spread this around the world, the more this work can land with people who are ready to step fully into it. And I am the voice of the people. I am the voice of Australia. I am the voice of the Council of 12. And I'm the voice for you. So let's do the activation together. So I'd like you to sit quietly. Just wriggle your body for a minute, okay? And just take a moment to become very still. Take a slow, deep breath and bring your awareness into your heart. Feel yourself fully present within your body, upon this earth, in this moment. So being completely present, because that's all we have, the now moment. And silently or aloud, affirm the following. I choose to remember who I am. I release the belief that I am small, powerless, or insignificant. I release all conditioning that taught me to surrender my inner authority to another. Never again. I reclaim the quiet power that has always lived within me. Oh, yes. The power of love, the power of peace, the power of kindness, the power of compassion, the power of conscious choice. The power of conscious choice. Yes. I choose self-knowing. I choose self-trust. I choose self-mastery. I choose the freedom to express the fullness of who I am here to be. I do not need to dominate another in order to be powerful. I do not need to fight the old world to create a new. I choose instead to become the consciousness of the world I wish to experience. The quality of consciousness I embody now determines the earth I experience. And so I consciously accept my inherent inheritance. Not someday, not when humanity changes, not when the world becomes ready. Now, because I am ready. Yes. we finish with a dedication. I dedicate the consciousness I embody today to the creation of an earth where humanity remembers its inherent power without needing power over another. May we become conscious stewards of this beautiful planet. May we govern ourselves with witness, humility, and love, and wisdom. May our choices reflect the world we say we wish to inherit through our inherent self-coded creativity. And may each of us remember that the new earth is not waiting somewhere in our future. It is being created through us, within us, as us, for us, now. Together, through the consciousness we choose to embody, we inherit the earth. And so it is. Whoa, take a deep breath, people. Take a deep breath. This has been a very powerful one. It feels really powerful for me. And I hope that it feels not just powerful, but empowering for you. Because that is what all my work's about. That's what the council is all about. It is empowering you into remembrance of who you are so that we can become self-governing and we can inherit the inheritance within us to level up our frequency into a new fabric of consciousness where new earth and the golden age is available to us. So please let me know how this landed, what it inspired in you, how you remembered things. You know, I love our interactions, and this is why we are, of course, also doing our monthly Zoom, the second Monday of every month. I get together with beautiful Sovereign Adama from Bali, and we do a Zoom session. And the link is in the description below, and I just want to tell you that we have removed the need to register. So the link that is now in the description will get you to the Zoom sessions direct. The reason is we had real difficulties last, Zoom session. People couldn't get on because the numbers were so high that Zoom just couldn't cope with them and sent out a message that the meeting was at full capacity when we only had a very small amount of the numbers, and there were over nearly 500 people standing in wait that were told, sorry, you can't get in, it's at full capacity. So I had a few words with Zoom, and we've sorted it out, and Sovereign and I are looking at doing things differently, but now you will not need to register anymore. You can just, look in the description box and save that link, and then on the second the second Monday of every month, at 7 p.m. AEST time, that is Melbourne, Sydney time, we will continue until further notice. As always, we never know what will be next. To then gather you, and we can actually see each other and speak with each other if that floats your boat. So have a wonderful weekend, and thank you for being here and being the brave, beautiful souls that you are, who are stepping up to be the creative force for the new earth. I love you. Love yourself more, and I'll see you next time as we gather together again. Bye bye.